Don't let your decision paralysis demon keep you from watching something great this weekend. Subscribe to ScreamShare, the newsletter that serves up a 5-minute breakdown of the best horror available on streaming. I'll have essential weekly movie picks covering new films, classics that you need to catch up on, and a movie that's always streaming for free. So subscribe now, and you can even be part of some frighteningly fun watch parties we're putting together that'll let you be part of the conversation. So click in the link in the show notes or go to screamshare.beehive.com. That's screamshare.beehiiv.com, and make sure you whitelist your welcome email so you can get updates for all of the news and updates. And now the body count continues. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, die-in time is here. That's right. We're talking about In the Mouth of Madness on Kill by Kill. Well, greetings and salutations, Internet. It is your old pal, Patrick Hamilton, coming to you once again from Hobbs End. This is the Kill by Kill podcast, where we're dedicated to celebrating the least discussed component of any horror film, the characters. We're going to unpack all the goriest of details of 1994's In the Mouth of Madness in the hopes that a fictional character's untimely end is just the beginning of the jokes we might make at their expense. And as always, there's only one person I trust who will be genuinely sorry about the balls, despite the fact it was a lucky shot. The one, the only, Gina Radcliffe. How are you doing today, Gina?
I'm doing good. Just sailing down this desolate highway with my jaunty baseball cards in the spokes of my bicycle.
Now, have you prematurely aged over this time? Like you're going through a time loop or something?
Oh, God, yeah. I mean, haven't we all been prematurely aging?
That's quite true. But I don't want to scare you, Gina, because we are not alone. That's right. We have a special guest. You may know her from her TikTok channel, where she talks all kinds of pop culture, but especially what I love, horror, the one, the only, Mandi Bossard. How are you doing today, Mandi?
I'm so good. I'm so excited to be here.
I am happy to have you. I love your channel. I love the way you discuss pop culture, but in particular, you've sort of reignited. I don't know how recent or long-standing it is, the sort of revisiting the horror of things that you caught as a youth. And I think what really captured my attention was your discussion of Stephen King's The Langoliers.
A masterpiece.
A true masterpiece. Something that's come up again and again and again on the show, especially as we have been discussing Stephen King adaptations. Not that we've actually talked about the TV movies necessarily, because that would be a lot to watch, and I'm afraid to watch it.
I mean, we would just spend like the entire hour just talking about the special effects or lack thereof.
Yeah.
And Bronson Pinchot's performance.
He gives it his all. He gave it everything.
Oh, 150%.
He is pure nutso throughout that thing. He's very dedicated to getting as nervy as possible. He's trying to embody everything that's on the page about that character. And everyone else is on drugs. Like everyone else is so calm about the film. Like, oh, dentures? That's interesting. Hey, look, it's a pacemaker. That was inside somebody's body. What are we doing here? What are we talking about?
When I was doing a deep dive, I saw so many people on Reddit say it's their going to sleep movie.
Oh, sure.
And I was like, it's so funny because it is soothing. It feels like a dream.
I would agree with that. Actually, I think that's kind of rad. So this is tangential to Stephen King. I think it's less hardcore Stephen King universe than some of the other movies that we have recently been covering in the SKU. Things like we did Donnie Darko, and that felt very on brand for this. Because it's so infused with Stephen King's story points and references that you can kind of go, yeah, it's a little this, it's a little that. Here, it's way more H.P. Lovecraft coded than Stephen King, even though King is definitely a part of the mix, the bouillabaisse of this motion picture.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And I think that's and I'll hold on to this when you get to when we first watch these. But yeah, obviously this is Lovecraft homage.
I know Carpenter has a big thing for Lovecraft. I personally found it, like, I get it, but I didn't deep dive. Like, I tried Mountains of Madness. I tried the Innsmouth. And I'm like, oh, okay, but I don't know what's happening. I don't know what's going on. And everything I ever heard about the guy is, well, these are elder gods, but actually they're Italians. And I'm like, no. I don't like it. I don't like any part of it. So I don't know, Mandy, what is your background with, let's start with Stephen King.
So huge Stephen King fan. And it's like my entry point was my mom's a huge Stephen King fan. So I remember, I think my first Stephen King book was Carrie. And I was thinking about this. What's so funny is huge Stephen King fan, but he obviously loves Lovecraft, loves Ray Bradbury. And I've never been into either of them, but I like them channeled through him.
Yeah. I agree. Like, the most into Bradbury I ever got was that he had a library in South Pasadena that had the raddest books in it. And
lovely.
He seemed to pour a lot of money into that neighborhood, which I enjoyed greatly. But I can't say that I really dug into the Martian Chronicles necessarily. It missed me for whatever reason.
And I agree with you, where I tried to get into Lovecraft and he's so wordy and racist and just wasn't my thing.
I agree. It's just everything I've ever read about him makes me like the concept less and less. I like to think of him in a way as like the evil idea machine. Yes. He could tap into something that people may have felt in life, that there may have been this other version of it, and he just could evoke it. But there's a reason why he never caught on while he was alive. No one could stand him when he was alive. Once he was dead, they're like, okay, maybe I can get into this and tell other people I read this book.
This is kind of spooky.
Well, yeah, I mean, like, it's unfortunate that he does have to be credited with ushering in an entire genre of horror.
Yes.
With the misfortune of being an absolutely atrocious person with opinions that informed a too large of a population in both America and the world at large.
Yeah. The other idea machine I always evoke is Richard Matheson, who could create these core fear ideas and these fantastical concepts that feel like they were always just under the surface, and he just gave them life. And I think a better person overall. Not that H.P. Lovecraft is, the bar is so low you have to walk through graves to get to walk over it. But and then there's Stephen King, our grandest modern man of ideas, who seems to tap into that dark mirror and find very interesting pressure points that make for fantastical and interesting stories with human heart. I think an interesting inheritor to the Matheson crown.
And he's so hard to adapt for that reason. He's so good at tapping into those very primal fears, very human. Like, I've talked about this on TikTok, but like embarrassing fears, where it's hard to adapt it because it's like the most sensitive, vulnerable moments, and he can put that on paper.
I have this theory that I've called the side of the van theory, which is if you can paint something that looks really cool on the side of a van, it's going to make a shitty movie. It's that one image that's so evocative. You're like, wow, if that came to life, it would be rad. And then you see the preview for Masters of the Universe. You're like, nah, no, I don't think so. I don't think that's a movie.
This is going to be a stinker.
And who knows? What can you do? I root for anyone who was on Riverdale. But the story of Mouth of Madness starts, weirdly enough, with a person who became infinitely more successful well after the fact of this being written. And that is with screenwriter and future New Line Cinema development exec Michael DeLuca. He wrote the script for this in the late 80s. And one of the first directors that he tried to approach to get on board was John Carpenter, who at the time was enmeshed in his most successful critically and commercial film ever, Memoirs of an Invisible Man.
Oh, God. I was waiting for you to say, like, The Thing or something like that. But
no, I'm talking about a real classic, Gina, one that we can all point to and go, that's the source code. That's what that is his imperial phase. Is when he was broken economically, emotionally,
spiritually
by Chevy Chase.
I mean, whoops among us.
Like, I've never worked with the guy, but I have the feeling that retroactively I've been hurt emotionally.
I mean, you have discussed your strong dislike of modern problems.
Oh my God, modern problems! Jesus Christ! The early HBO damage that they did that end up on your most viewed HBO?
It did not, shockingly.
How is that possible?
I should go back and see where it does rate, because a lot of the ones you would have expected to be on the list were pretty close.
Yeah,
but I'll have to check that one.
Okay. I do wonder, because they were an early adopter of, we're not going to show R-rated movies before like 7 p.m. And I wonder if you just saw them more often because they just stopped showing PG movies after a certain point.
Yeah. I mean, it's like you're just kind of, well, this is on.
Yeah. There's a limit to them for whatever reason. But DeLuca is a name that might sound familiar to some people, and others will like, I don't know who that is. The thing is, he was the big genre engine within New Line Cinema. He was a big part of A Nightmare on Elm Street. He even wrote the script to Freddy's Dead, Nightmare on Elm Street 6, that was directed by fellow New Line exec Rachel Talalay. And as we all know, that is the imperial phase of Freddy's powers.
Is that the one with Roseanne?
No, I think she did Freddy's Dead.
No, it's Freddy's Dead is 6, guys. It goes.
Which one did Rachel Talalay do?
Freddy's Dead.
Okay,
and he wrote the script for it. So it goes the original. It goes 2 Dream Warriors, Dream Master, Dream Child, Freddy's Dead, New Nightmare, whatever the fuck we're calling 2010 besides a mass tragedy.
Which sucks, because New Nightmare was so good.
But people didn't get it. It was too meta, which will be the theme of the day, everybody. Because I don't think there is a more meta Carpenter movie than this. I could be wrong, but I really think it to be true. DeLuca eventually became the president and COO of New Line Cinema by 93. And it could be argued that if we're talking imperial phase again, he ushered in the golden era of that company. You've got Seven, Friday, Boogie Nights, Austin Powers, Rush Hour, Blade, American History X, Magnolia. That's just the cream of the crop. And he spent time at DreamWorks after that, and failed just like everyone else did there. Then he had a first look deal at Sony, which was a lot better for everybody. He had producing credits on Social Network, Moneyball, the Fright Night remake. These are 3 good movies, everybody. And he eventually was lured over to be chairman at one of the many, many, many MGM reboots, which I don't think produced a damn thing. But then in 2022, he and his producing partner, Pamela Abdi, get lured over to Warner Brothers, where they are kind of instrumental in the insane run that they had last year. It had to do with them making those deals. And at the beginning of it, people were like, I think they're going to crash and burn. No one should have given away the rights to sinners after 25 years. It's going to be the worst disaster ever. And then they walked away with the fucking Oscars. So what are you going to do? Fail upwards, I say. And then, once you're there, do something with the power. Luca has. And I think we're better for it as a society.
What would you do if your online store converted 36% more shoppers? You could take 36% more vacation.
Another pina colada? Yes, please.
Open a new retail location with 36% more square feet.
Fantastic.
Hire 36% more help.
You're hired and you're hired.
Shopify has the world's best converting checkout, up to 36% better than other e-commerce platforms. What you do with those extra sales is up to you. Switch to Shopify today at shopify.com/listen and get a $1 trial. Shopify.com/listen.
But way back when he wrote this, he was just a normal horror nerd like anybody else. So the screenplay is an obvious nod to H.P. Lovecraft, who, as we've noted, is a massive racist, who had some fun ideas about elder gods, but these never really took off until after his death. And all the Sutter Kane book titles in the movie are variations of Lovecraft books. And the kind of exception here is Hobbs' End, which has two sources. It's a direct reference to Quatermass and the Pit, and then it's a nod to Stephen King's Castle Rock, a fictional story in which many, many, many supernatural things happen, but they don't seem to affect people on the other side of town for whatever reason. At its core, the movie is about the idea that if you spread a certain kind of idea around, it will drive people insane. Something that obviously has no real life comparison point. So I'm not really sure why I brought it up at all.
I was going to say, I don't want to keep dipping from that eerily prescient well, but
it's kind of eerily prescient.
Eerily prescient. I mean, both the mind virus sort of thing, and the people flipping out and fighting when they don't get something they want when they want it.
Yes,
I kept thinking I'm never pro remake, but I was like, oh, this would be so good to be like remade right now.
I think it's possible.
Well, there's a couple books. There are a couple books out recently that have a similar. I think it's one called "Wake Up and Open Your Eyes," which I have not read yet, but it is on my to read list, which appears to be of a similar vein, but more overtly reflecting current events.
It's kind of come back into vogue, and I think one of the things we could discuss here for a little bit is I think there's a what the crux of the story is either one of two things. It's probably both. One is that within Kane's work, he needs to, let's say, convert a skeptic. Like it's a form of miracle that he has to conjure. The things that he writes have to become real. And then he has to convince someone who would never believe that they're real, that they are. And then once he's drafted this chosen one, the gospel of the elder gods can then just spread far and wide. He can't take the final text past the barrier. It has to be this skeptic who is essentially carries his doctrine from one side to the other.
Right.
Or plus, and or. This is really a horror story about what it must feel like if you were in fact fictional. To what is it to be without any agency? All of your wants and desires and choices are dictated by what is essentially an uncaring God whose aims are strictly a good story, not your personal well-being.
Yeah, I mean, either of those scenarios, are in the right or wrong frame of mind could really keep you up at night.
Yes, and I think it is the element of religion for me that really fucked me long term was the idea that I was not actually in charge of my destiny. that my choices certainly had repercussions, but also, regardless, I couldn't make actual choices and had to suffer the repercussions anyways. And that did not do well in kid Patrick's brain. And I was like, kind of have to find some way to get out of this moving forward. Please get me out of this.
Right, because you're being told, basically your fate is predetermined. Everything is God's will, but also if you displease God, He'll make something happen to you. And it's like, well, that's kind of two conflicting messages. Those are conflicting messages.
Yeah.
Or I saw some interview with Stephen King a bit back where revival is a lot, very focused on religion.
Mm-hmm.
And he talks about being raised Methodist and hearing in passing from relatives that like I think an aunt of his was dating a guy who was Catholic. And it was like, oh, well, he'll go to hell. And just like it being an accepted thing and how chilling it was to him as a kid and how he opted out from there was like, but I think he's a nice guy. I don't think he's going to hell just because he's Catholic.
Right. It's a tough road. Like, I don't quite get why. And I understand, like, it brings so many people comfort. And I would not really want to take that away from them because the world is not really full of that many comforts necessarily. But it's also like, it's as much as it can be a shield, it's more often used as a sword, and it causes a shit ton of damage. So I don't want to ban it, but it does feel like, shouldn't we have some fucking guardrails on this? Like, why? What is going on? Because it can cause such horrific repercussions because it's sort of outside the law. It's outside the government. It's this own thing that can do whatever it wishes. And yeah, it's kind of cool when the Pope goes, you know what? AI sucks. And you're like, yeah, Pope, yeah. But then like, it's like, well, no, I think you can definitely kidnap a kid and give him a gay conversion therapy. That's definitely something we should be able to do.
Yeah, I mean, women should still be forced to carry a pregnancy they neither want nor are prepared to take care of to term.
It's quite a pickle. But let's get into a more interesting religion, and that is the religion of Sutter Kane, because that is essentially what we're dealing with here. For Carpenter, this is the third entry and what he ended up calling the Apocalypse Trilogy. We've covered the other movies. This is us rounding this out. Although I would say we probably have more things to actually dig into with The Thing, which is why we called it Volume 0. Because even though we talked for nearly 2 hours about it, I could talk endlessly about it probably, along with everyone else on the planet, which is probably why we haven't gone back to it. And as far as the plot goes for this movie, it's pretty simple. I'll give it to you in a paragraph because the devil's much more in the details. You've got an insurance investigator named John Trent. He loves catching con men. He's hired by Arcane Publishing to find their highest profile author named Sutter Kane, who's a horror novelist whose many best-selling books have a bad habit of driving a certain percentage of his readers insane. Trent thinks that Kane's disappearance is pretty much a scam from the get-go. And truth be told, it kinda is. But the publisher really needs Kane's next completed novel so they can meet their publishing deadline. So they dispatch Trent and Arcane exec Linda Stiles to locate the real life place where Hobbs End is and maybe find Sutter Kane and that book. And he does. And then he goes back. And everyone lives happily ever after.
Book is published, smash success. John Trent and John and Linda fall in love and get married. They have 12 children. It's really
Charlton
awesome.
Heston comes to the wedding.
And, you know, their romance is not forcibly inserted into the narrative at all.
Wild.
I got to say, as much as I love Sam Neill, and I love him a lot, I have way more trouble buying him as this like hard-nosed, you know, private dick who's seen it all than I do just, you know, a guy just absolutely losing his shit because he does it so well.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, he's already done it in Possession. You know, he's already
Event Horizon.
This was, I think this was before Event Horizon, but not very.
Very back to back, actually.
Right. And he just seems to have so much more fun just going, you know, full tilt boogie insane.
I heard that Michael Keaton was considered, and I was like, I can kind of see Michael Keaton a little bit more, but I did love Sam Neill in it.
It would have been really fun to have Keaton in this role. Not that I dislike Sam Neill, but yes, you don't really buy him as hard boiled if that was the goal, and I do think that was the goal because he is smoking. Like Philip Morris is paying him by the butt. Are you invested in the cigarette companies? Like, do you need smoke more than oxygen? It almost feels that way. But I know they're trying to go for a type, and he's just a little too weird to do that. But the weirdness pays off in the second half of the movie, where you need someone to believably feel like they are not only off the rocker, but they're doing backflips off the rocker.
Yeah. I do love that they let him keep the New Zealand accent.
Yeah.
No explanation for it.
Yeah.
He's just from New Zealand.
Who cares? I mean, I don't need to know his backstory.
No.
And it seems like a weird detail that in the end is something that Sutter Kane came up with because he thought it was a fun affectation, just like the smoking. Just like the jackets. It's just a thing that he does. And does it make sense? It doesn't have to. This movie is not about making sense. We don't come to In the Mouth of Madness for it to all line up perfectly. Perfect doesn't exist here. It's all weird angles and jagged edges.
Right.
So one thing I found interesting, I just started to notice some of these other details over the course of this watch that maybe I hadn't put together before. But why is it that every woman at Arcane has a massive updo? They have piled all their hair, and maybe hair they don't personally possess, into an updo that is of Bride of Frankenstein proportions.
I mean, nobody has as incredible hair in this as Jürgen Prochnow.
True.
I mean, when he appears on stage, I'm like, wow, that is a lot of hair.
I mean, there are high schoolers right now who would kill to have that amount of curls piled up on top of their head.
I mean, he is about to play bass for Poison. That's how much. That is how much hair he has in this movie.
Now, in doing some research for this, I came across a few people who seem to have a problem with the very Enter Sandman inflected opening title credits from Carpenter.
People don't like the sick guitar riff?
Yes. So many people. It was just in comments, and I found it on Reddit and here and there. I'm like, I think they're just, all right. I'm going to take us out of In the Mouth of Madness for a brief second. And Mandy, I'm going to put you on the spot here because a few weeks back, or at least a few weeks back when I saw this was when I immediately reached out. And that is, you had stated, I think you were talking about The Shining and the TV adaptation or something along those lines. But you had stated that when it comes to horror, there's this element that most people are somewhat frozen in time with that horror movie that frightened them, that gave them that initial scare that kept them up, that crept into their brain, that gave them the exact thing they wanted out of the experience. And now when they see a new horror movie, they are looking for that experience. And if they don't get that, they may not be able to appreciate what the movie or TV show or whatever they're being given. And I feel like that's probably true for a lot of things, particularly comedy, but let's keep it to horror here. And I feel like with this thing, it's people going, I like Carpenter on synth. He needs to be a keyboardist. But then you pick up a guitar for Big Trouble in Little China is like, I like this now. And people are like, fuck you, but on the synths, why aren't you touching keyboards?
Yeah, that's so funny. I didn't know where you were going with that. That is very, very funny.
Yes, it's quite a ride with me in talking. I understand.
I loved the ride.
All right.
And now he does, I think he works with his son on his soundtracks, which is so cute.
Yes. Well, they have a band together. It's basically a threesome. And I think he had an event recently that I couldn't get tickets to, where he brought his son up on stage and said, you play the Halloween theme. I'm going to sit on this chair. I don't do this shit anymore.
I liked the guitar riff because I feel like we're in horror world.
Yeah.
But we're also in something different. And it's like, I feel like the whole opening sets the tone for like, what is this? Mm-hmm. And like that whole opening cliche insane asylum, sorry about your balls. It's like, what tone is this?
Yeah, the whole thing feels very set up. I mean, that's an old power building that's shown up in quite a few New Line in particular movies. And so it's mainly just a facade. The interior they built, but you immediately start to get the feeling it starts to do things that communicate this isn't real, because you have David Warner show up. There's John Glover. Here's Bernie Casey. Here's Charlton Heston. Here's fucking Peter Jason, unfortunately not doing his trombone trick from Prince of Darkness.
We also have, I think that is Vigo from Ghostbusters 2.
It is Vigo from Ghostbusters 2.
Yeah, played the townsperson who shoots himself in the bar.
Yeah. Who gives up the ghost, like, he goes, don't do that. And he's like, sorry, he wrote it this way.
Yeah, and that's so eerie, and that's so eerie too. Like, eerie. I've accepted my fate. This is what's been set out for me.
I do feel like he is constantly communicating that this is artificial, because the guitar riff is Enter Sandman-esque. When they put on the music in the insane asylum, it's the Carpenters. All these things are obvious choices. Places you, if you didn't know better, would think would be the choices you would make. They seem predestined to go, there's that guy, there's that guy, there's that woman. And they should be that way, because I wonder, here's my third theory about this fucking movie. Are we, buckle up, watching the movie adaptation of In the Mouth of Madness rather than John Carpenter's In the Mouth of Madness?
Well, I love that, because initially I was like, Julie Carmen's acting feels a little all over the place. But then I was like, but this also feels like a woman written by a man. So in a meta way, this works really well.
I mean, I think there's a lot of fascinating approaches you could take to this. Yeah, I think that, the fact, now granted, but again, Carpenter did not write the script.
No.
Correct?
No,
okay,
he just purely execution.
Romance has never been his forte in his movies. It's not something he's done. I know. They meet an hour, and they picks up a hitchhiker. An hour later, they're in bed. Stuff like that. Yeah. But yeah, you're absolutely right that this sort of feels like the clumsy flirting, the body language where he's got the arm up where she's trying to get away with it from him.
At her job.
Yeah, she's kind of into it, and it's like, I never even thought of that, but that is an excellent point. Like that all of this is, this could be happening. This could not be happening. This could not be happening in a completely different way than you think.
I think it really didn't occur to me until the very end, in which he, escapes, just wanders out of this insane asylum and finds a movie theater playing In the Mouth of Madness, and essentially sees the movie he's been in. And it's like, yeah, I think maybe we're just watching the Arcane Productions version of In the Mouth of Madness.
I love that, especially because we're obviously following Sam Neill's perspective, but then we have these random jumps where we're following Linda.
Mm-hmm.
And so I like that interpretation that it's him suddenly seeing what she was doing.
Yes, that it's revealing components of the story he was not privy to, and now all of a sudden it's starting to make more sense to him, which is what finally drives him over the edge. Not Tobe Hooper over the edge, but approaching, because unless Tobe Hooper is directing the movie, apparently, you cannot see someone truly unhinged. He's the master of capturing that moment when your tenuous grasp of reality snaps in half.
He's so good at it.
Oh
He
yeah,
really is.
absolutely.
It's what we have a t-shirt in our podcast shop that says in Poltergeist font, directed by Tobe Hooper. And it is for the reason that A, Steven Spielberg and the entire cast say he directed it, and B, it contains multiple moments in which he pulls the Tobe Hooper and characters witness something that makes them lose their minds. And no one else can fucking do that. He was the master of it. And I wish somebody would reach that level, but I don't know how he was able to do it. Maybe it was the Dr. Pepper. I couldn't tell you.
And then I always worry with horror movies from the 70s. Whenever you're like, how did they achieve that tone? When you do hear behind the scenes stuff, it's like, oh, because the set was awful.
Right.
Because there was a toxic set.
Because someone's shooting a gun. Because they're keeping them up for 48 hours.
When you hear something like The Curse of the Exorcism, and it's like, oh, they were throwing a chair at Linda Blair. That's not a curse.
The Curse of the Exorcist was he was slapping his actors around.
The curse.
Woo! An old man died. Like, yeah, that's what happens.
Totally.
Spoiler alert, it's happening to you too. Yeah, it's just no one's going to be firing off a gun next to your ear to get a reaction.
She broke her back because we shook her around, but because of the curse.
My non-union crew didn't listen to me. Whoa. And so many incidents that happen leading up to this feel like scenes, very intentional scenes. He's in a cafe with Bernie Casey after he's cracked, Peter Jason wide open. And you see this guy in the background. Everyone else is reacting, but they're not. And you're kind of like, why aren't you reacting to that? They're not going to. The script says, I don't react to this.
It seems like it's also shot in a slightly different way than the rest of the movie is.
Yes. There are distinct moments where Carpenter decides this is the kind of movie this is. And once he opens up a Sutter Kane novel, it shifts. And
it's
then
Mommy's Day.
And once they get into Hobbs End, it shifts again. And once Trent leaves and Kane tells him, did I ever tell you my favorite color is blue? It shifts again. It's fucking crazy, man. It's like it's intentional. And I hate that this movie just couldn't catch on. It probably could not have come out at a worse time for horror in so many ways. And I think people were just like, I think I know what a John Carpenter movie is. And they really missed out.
Yeah, well, the problem is that Prince of Darkness took also took a long time to find its audience because it's just so fucking weird. And when I originally watched In the Mouth of Madness, I didn't see it in the theater. I don't know that anybody did. I probably saw it like a few years later. And at the time, I remember thinking, well, this is like Prince of Darkness, a movie I very much love, where I'm not going to try to figure out what's going on. I'm just going to vibe with it. Mm-hmm. Whereas I watched it, I think this was the second time I'd watched it. And wow. I was like, oh, okay, I get what's happening now. This isn't that hard to figure out. I mean, it's not clear cut. And again, there are a number of ways you can interpret, what's taking place, but it's not nearly as, what the fuck is happening as Prince of Darkness is.
Yes. That is intentionally vague in the Quatermass fashion that it was built to be. And here it is a genuine struggle between a character who's trying to make sense of this. That his superpower is he figures out what really is happening. And he's confronted with the problem where reality has left him bye-bye. He's not in a reality. So his constant struggle to figure it out are moot. And he is just a leaf in the wind here, being blown by forces beyond his control.
I've been thinking so much about how horror writers have to justify, like, when things get crazy, why does somebody not leave? Like, how do you get horror characters to stay in the horror story?
Right. Oh, yeah, totally. Yeah, actually, one of the things I meant to write down was, if I'm driving on this dark highway and I pass the same creepy old guy on a bicycle twice, once after running him over with my car, I don't care how important this task is. I am banging a Yui and going back home.
Totally.
Yeah.
It's like,
goodbye.
I think that they really sell you on him having these moments of, you're pranking me. Like, you're not going to get me. I know that it's special effects. You're not going to get me.
Yeah, because these don't seem like real things. They feel like a giant scam. But a guy was shot to death in front of him. And he's kind of like, what is this bullshit? Well, you saw a dude get shot in front of you.
His reaction, like Bernie Casey looks like he's about to have a heart attack.
Yeah,
and meanwhile, like Sam Neill's almost laughing, like, I can't believe this shit. Wasn't that crazy?
Well, and then you see the close up of that guy, and he's got 4 pupils.
Yeah,
I love these eye effects. So creepy.
So good.
They're so rad. I mean, and this is we're talking the last gasp of pure practical effects happening here.
Worked on by one Gregory Nicotero. He was Gregory back then.
Apparently he got his foot run over by some of the cosmic horrors at one point. I've heard some trivia.
Just flattened out like a Daffy Duck cartoon.
You didn't start a business just to keep the lights on. You're here to sell more today than yesterday. You're here to win. Lucky for you, Shopify built the best converting checkout on the planet. Like the just one tapping, ridiculously fast acting, sky-high sales stacking, champion of checkouts. That's the good stuff right there. So if your business is in it to win it, win with Shopify. Start your free trial today at shopify.com/win.
And yeah, so much of this seems so literal because it is literature. Trent can't see the truth until the pen leaks and he smears ink under his eyes. And then suddenly he can see the pattern in the covers of the books. It's like, wow, that is really, like, I can see people just bouncing off of that. This movie is kind of a proof of concept that once you start to warp people's realities, they'll either roll with it or they won't. And it was sort of interesting to watch this. This will be somewhat old hat by the time the episode comes out. But to watch it back to back with back rooms,
Yeah.
a movie that Gina, you haven't seen it yet, have you?
Not yet, no.
Yeah.
Don't spoil any of the hallways.
I'm not going to say the carpets are damp. Fuck.
I understand there's a lot of hallways.
Oh, we spoiled it.
There's this one, and it's got an arch, and then there's another one, it's got a square. So I took a group of teenagers, including my own, to it. I sat far away, but someone had to drive them, and someone had to drive them back home, and I was going to see it anyway, so fuck it. I sat in the far back corner because I thought I would like to see the reaction to this. And it was one of the most reactive audiences. I literally saw popcorn fly.
Oh, really?
And I'm like, I love the production design. I think there's great actors involved. And I'm claustrophobic. That shit gets to me. I think everything that I'm looking at, for the most part, I'm kind of into. I think the spoiler, the movie within the movie, the movie stuff where characters have to have an emotional thing, that was not quite as successful for me. That being said, it was obviously successful for a lot of people, and that's okay. Like fucking pop culture is ice cream. Everyone gets the flavor they want. That is a movie that obviously was able to force people into that director's idea of this is reality now, and there were a lot of people buying it.
I agree with you. Again, I'm limited spoilers.
Mm-hmm.
The found footage stuff I found so effective.
Yeah.
I'm just not a big liminal horror person. So I went in feeling like this probably won't hit a nerve for me. And that overall was true.
Yeah. Without going into detail, we'll leave it at that. But another movie where you're just kind of shoehorned into an alternate reality that's unreliable. And the weird thing about Mouth of Madness for me is that it actually is reliable. Everything that's happening is very dictated. This is the course of events. You're not going off the events. If you attempt to go off the events, we simply return you to the point where you deviated. And that's when it started to remind me a lot of King stuff rather than H.P. Lovecraft, including the fact that Trent and Styles are basically asleep when they enter Hobbs End.
Right.
Which is the fucking Langoliers. And then we have the teen bicyclist who's supposedly trying to escape the town, but then ages as if he's gone through King's The Jaunt.
Oh man,
such an underrated, so good.
It is the thing I think about once a week.
Chilling.
I read that in 1985. I could tell you exactly where I was when I read it. It affected. I don't know that there's been anything that has wormed its way into my brain more than reading The Jaunt.
It's always my go-to recommendation, that and Revival, where when people ask for like a Stephen King, like what's his scariest? I'm like, people are going to say Pet Sematary. They're going to say The Shining, and they're wrong.
Here's where I think the flavor comes into it, right? And the sort of that all pop culture is essentially ice cream. Like your body doesn't need it to live. Your soul does. So when we go to the ice cream parlor and you choose Rocky Road and I choose orange sherbet, I don't look down my nose at it. You got the flavor that you wanted. I don't have to eat that.
Totally.
We all get to enjoy ice cream. We're all happy. And that's where I think the flavor of King is very dependent on what you like, what actually affects you. And I think if family shit affects you more, then it is The Shining that gets under your skin and really warps you. And the same with Pet Sematary, where the horror comes from. How could you say you love your family and yet you're digging up a corpse, right?
Well, for me, it's I explained this before that I read the book first before I became a parent. And then I read it again foolishly after I became a parent.
Yeah.
And my reaction initially was, oh my God, that's horrible. How could he do that? And then the even more horrifying reaction I had afterwards was, I could see myself doing that. I could see myself being so like instantly just, my brain, if I lost my only child, I would be like, my brain would snap, like nothing would be off the table after that point. So it's like, it suddenly gets a lot more uncomfortably under your skin.
Mm-hmm.
Well, and you two probably already talked about this, but that the whole inspiration for Pet Sematary was essentially that truck moment almost happened to him, that he caught his son. I think it doesn't matter which son it was, but
it was Joe, like, but yeah.
But playing out, but what if?
Yeah.
Well, yeah, of course. Like, I mean, Patrick, I'm sure you've had moments where, Ollie ran out or almost fell off of something. And, your brain likes to play little scenarios with you afterwards. Like, what if I hadn't seen him?
Yes.
Or, what if I hadn't run fast enough? And then, you grab for that Xanax and try to get a good night's sleep. I mean,
yeah, I think these are core ideas that, like Lovecraft, like Matheson, like so many great authors, they're able to generate these ideas that simply touch a nerve that you feared actually exists inside of you. And once it's pressed, causes very involuntary emotional reactions. And that kind of experience is both revulsion inducing and addictive. It is, the thing that horror does better than anything else is just touch that one nerve. And the flip side of the coin, of course, is comedy, which is another involuntary action where it's still a surprise what's happening in the best comedies, what people say, what people do, and that it feels like, oh, that you shouldn't do that. And then it happens, and that causes you to laugh. That I think it's what makes the two genres such a delicious peanut butter and chocolate concoction when done correctly.
Yeah. Are you watching Widow's Bay?
Yes.
Yeah.
We could basically turn this into a Widow's Bay podcast if we start to go down that line. But absolutely, it is the most potent combination of both, where I feel like both are taken seriously.
Yeah.
Comedy is the ruling factor, but it is able to find truly disturbing material within the comedy to exploit. And the performances are fucking wild. Gina, have you dipped in yet?
Not yet. I do intend to.
Oh my God. Yeah. When you reach a certain point in this, you're going to go, this is everything I wanted it to be. And then it's going to deliver Hamish to you.
Oh, I didn't know he was in it. Okay. Well, now I'm 120% sold.
It'll take you a minute to recognize him.
I couldn't place him at first. I was like, I know who this is.
Yeah.
my thirst for Hamish Linklater is known far and wide.
Well, if this is a thing that pushes you over, I'm delighted to let you know, because I don't think it's a genuine spoiler, because you're not going to really know how that's delivered to you. And then when it is, you're going to feel so satisfied, Gina. Oh,
okay.
All the way it fucking works.
Okay.
But it is so good at making, like you're saying, like making fun of the tropes while also doing the horror trope so well.
Yeah. It's a minor miracle. That I'm not sure. I don't know. I want it to go on forever. And I also want it to be done and never touched again. I don't know which one of those it's
like a
going
perfect
to be.
4-season arc or something.
True. Although that quartet really formed fast, but it's neither here nor there. So king-coded. Anyways.
But it's funny that you say that this In the Mouth of Madness feels very King, because the reason I gravitate towards him is that his books are so human. Like there's so much heart. And I think why I've never gotten into Lovecraft or I said Ray Bradbury is it didn't have that human quality. Like Fahrenheit 451, great book, incredible concepts, incredible themes, but the characters always felt kind of hollow to me.
Mm-hmm.
But
they're there to service the plot.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And there's a King short story, I think it's called Crouch End, that's very Lovecraft based. And it was the first time I was like, oh, I do think I like cosmic horror. I think I just didn't like Lovecraft.
Yeah. I think that's probably, he's able to tap into these things and give you a key to unlock a door you may not have known you really wanted to open.
Yeah. And it helps that, like, as you say, King's works have a lot of heart to them, and you care about or relate to the characters, whereas Lovecraft is very nihilist. Like his various personality disorders beyond the racism, really shine through on the page. Like he very much like, losing your mind at the sight of a creature beyond your imagination is way better than continuing through this festering shithole of a world. And it's like, great, thanks. That's I do love an uplifting book.
I really enjoyed that you started that with the very core community theme of I can overlook the racism, but which is not how you said it.
I think it was more like, beyond the racism, let's remember he sucked in other ways too.
Exactly. Thank you.
Why limit it to one terrible thing when he has so much more terribleness?
I mean,
beneath the surface.
Obviously the racism bleeds through into everything, but also it's just general, like, depression, and I'm not using it as an excuse or anything, but like his depression and his anxiety and his general, life sucks for me. So I'm going to, the only thing that'll make it any better is to know and push the idea that it sucks for everyone else, and then eventually we'll all just die.
Yeah.
Well, and for so long, my impression of his stories were just like, oh yeah, picture something crazy. Picture the craziest thing. I can't even tell you what it looks like. It's like the craziest.
That's how crazy it is. Yeah. And it's a big tentacle monster.
Tentacles.
But it's also a guy from Serbia. And you're like, what? What? Wait a second. Is it a tentacle monster? Or is it
but it's also my wife's vagina.
I very much like to get into it, but also I'd like to get as far away from it as possible. And you're like, I don't know, man. Maybe try weed. Let's
get on an SSRI.
Let's talk to a profesh.
Yeah, let's not put this on the page. Let's not keep it to journaling, Herbert.
Oh, Herbert, you fucking weirdo. A couple other things that I noticed along the way. I love that the lady who runs the inn not only has a ball and chain, he's literally on a ball and chain. I love something that I've obviously seen every time I've seen the movie, but of course did not put it together until this watch. Kane has a malignant.
Yeah, so good.
Kane's got himself his own malignant. I do wonder if that crawled subconsciously into Juan's brain and just popped out. Well, it's not Juan. He wasn't the writer of it. Akilah Cooper.
Oh, right.
Person also wrote Nun 2 and Megan. Akilah Cooper. And Akilah Cooper we trust. Yes, I have to wonder if that little element, or at least that visualization, crawled into her subconscious and made its way to this other thing.
I also kept thinking of, do you remember Little Monsters with Howie Mandel?
Oh man,
yes.
that one of those like, this was for kids?
Yeah,
truly. I kept thinking of the boy in that.
Oh my God, the boy is so creepy.
So creepy.
He rips his face off in a children's movie. He rips his own face off.
Well, they had done it in Pee-wee's Big Adventure, and they figured this is what kids' movies are now.
I long ago when I used to participate in like a horror board back when you did that kind of thing, I used a picture of boy with his face ripped off as my user icon, and people were like, "Oh my God, that was so scary! Why was that for kids?"
Kids just don't get horror movies like we did back in the 90s.
No.
There's no like Goosebumps haunted mask now.
Yeah, we're a bit older. We were more 70s and 80s kids. We got to fucking return to Oz.
It was just decidedly weirder shit to some degree. I mean, I have to feel like I'm not all into everything that, I try to monitor what my kid watches. I did discover that he is a little bit of a scholar of Italian brain rot. I'm like, what are you doing? I see your YouTube. I know what you're watching. What the fuck is going on? Are you on the pot? You have to tell me if you're on the pot. But unfortunately, I raised a kid, fortunately or unfortunately, who appreciates the not so good, who indulges the bad. He watches movies on his own. So that's something he genuinely engages with. But he'll also like watch this Hot Wheels movie that he was really into when he was 7 that looks like it was made for $1.50 in loose change. For as many awesome and interesting things as there are in the movie, and there are the bulging doors, the crazy thing like tentacle monsters, the endless hallway with the monsters stampeding at him, the way that this town has the worst armed mobs you've ever seen in your life. And then someone else saw this and said, we should put that in the middle Halloween trilogy. Let's have Michael Myers get surrounded by a bunch of people with any weapon they can find. Yes, get that lady with an iron in here.
But she's just become the patron saint of the show.
She is.
Lady with the iron.
I love when he's watching the mob. Then the guy with an axe runs up. You think he's going to axe him, and then just goes, "Fuck you."
Yeah, there's a lot of that in this movie.
Yeah, they're just rude.
There's the kid who's like, it's mommy's day. You're like, who thought this? What the fuck is going on here? Like, I've got a kid with goop on their face, with sudden oatmeal syndrome out of Evil Dead.
Oh yeah, there's a lot of goop. Yeah. A lot of goop.
It's a wet movie for being so dry because it's on paper. And then at one point, Jurgen Prochnow decides to rip open his own face in the only...
Love that image.
It's a great idea. I don't know that the digital execution is the finest, but they were trying, they were doing their best. And the idea that he's like, I'm going to let you cut to this part of the book is pretty wild.
Yeah.
It has often been said, oh yeah, it's Carpenter's last great movie, but it's a great Carpenter movie. We don't need to think about it in terms of the legacy of where it lands. What I need people to start focusing on is that we have In the Mouth of Madness, and I don't think we as a society are appreciating it enough.
No.
As much as we have been advocates, I think, of reigniting the world's understanding and appreciation of Christine, I think this is now my new cause celeb along with Christine. Mandy, you laughed a lot there. When was the last time you saw Christine?
I support you because I feel like Christine gets so unfairly bashed when it's like, when's the last time you read the book? The book is a mess.
Yeah.
The book is a mess. What the first chunk is in first person, then suddenly it's in third person. No explanation.
So we're going to try this for a while. And yeah, I think it is able to crystallize a lot of the ideas. And it's the thing that adaptation does so well, because you take what works for the medium you're translating it to, you leave the rest behind. And Christine is able to do that because Carpenter doesn't necessarily at that moment in time have a super reverence for what King's doing. That he's kind of like, yeah, people like him and everything. And I see the core of the story. I think I can work with it. Our big raison d'etre, or I won't say ours, I'll keep it to mine, is that King has he has that misty-eyed look to his youth. He looks at the 50s and early 60s and goes, that felt like a golden... I had a lot of shit happening. There was bad shit that happened there, but there's also this core of like the wonder of childhood and the first this and the first that I love. And I think that it has a spark to it. And Carpenter's like, fuck that. It was still the military industrial complex bringing everyone down. Yeah, life was great before the Voting Rights Act. You keep thinking that.
Yeah, well, that's the thing about this is, you've got this small town and as picturesque as it appears, upon very first look, there's no time wasted on, this nice little bucolic town. It's like, no, there's something fucking weird going on, like immediately.
And Trent sees it right away. He goes, this stuff is like, it's pretty preserved. Like, there's nice things here. Like, this is a very well appointed town. Why are we the only ones here? Because it ain't fucking real. If someone's going to show up, someone has to write it into existence. So no one's there because you have to turn your back so that Styles can see a group of mutant children hunt a dog and I guess eat one of its legs.
There's also just something I found so charming about watching it was we're in such an era of like everyone trying to out elevated horror each other, which I like elevated horror.
Yeah.
But it's so nice. Like, John Carpenter is not trying to be an auteur. He's such a working man's director. He's coming in to make a horror movie. And there's something so nice about someone fully embracing the camp of horror.
And understands its place, understands how to utilize it. And it's something that after this tends to slip out of his grasp to a degree. But I also think he's just tired. He's tired of being ahead of his time. I think that's exhausting.
Oh, sure. Yeah. And not being appreciated for it.
Yeah. I mean, there's the Del Toro story where he comes up to Carpenter and says, I adore your work. It is core to who I am as a human being. I think you are one of the world's greatest artists. And the Thing was so ahead of his time. And Carpenter responds, fuck being ahead of the time. Write me a check. Like, what good did it do me to be ahead of my time? And I think that can do a fucking number on someone to be underappreciated to this degree.
One thing I was thinking too, and truly ahead of its time, is there's some line Sam Neill has towards the beginning of talking about how the world is just collapsing, like it's just going to shit. And I think it's so funny to think of it being in 94, which to us feels like things were really on the up and up looking back.
like Clinton hasn't even had a full affair in office. Like we have so much more to go to before we
in the good times.
Really start a downhill slide.
And again, with not being pro remake, but just thinking of how this would land today, where it's like, especially with, I was thinking of parasocial, like people get so parasocial about celebrities and the idea of just like a cult around a public figure. And that it does feel like we're on the verge of apocalypse in so many ways. Yeah.
I mean, it's certainly closer than ever, thank goodness. And according to Trent. But then he gets his wish. Like he's saying, we should be blown off this planet. We should be dust off the shoes. And then he gets an apocalypse and he's like, I don't care for this because I'm personally involved. Let's go back to the pre-apocalypse, please.
Turns out this sucks.
Yeah. Also, Hayden Christensen is in this movie. But that's about it. That's all I have to say.
He's the paper boy, isn't he?
He's the paper boy.
Yeah.
Who looks at him weird when he asks, do you know where Hobbs' End is? He's like, I don't fucking know what you're talking about.
I wouldn't have recognized him. I merely saw his name in the credits beforehand, so I knew to look for him.
And that's the only reason I know. So any last thoughts on 1994's In the Mouth of Madness?
I just thought it was so fascinating to think of this idea of like, what good is your sanity if everybody else is insane? And what is reality if you're the only one seeing things in a sane way? It doesn't mean anything if you're in the minority.
Gina?
It fucking rules. I mean, it's got so much cool imagery and obviously it is not a linear plot, but it's not meant to be. And it deserves the same sort of, now, it has developed a cult following, although, the other the other movie we talked about today also allegedly developed a cult following. So I'm starting to think that phrase doesn't mean much.
Yeah, I agree. I think people need to tune into this. I think they have a general appreciation, or they're like, oh, it's his last good. No. It's a great. Just watch it again, and you'll see that he's able to put together this plot where Trent sees this small hole in the poster for Hobbs End Horror. And the second time he peels it open a little bit more. And the third time he just rips at it and his own face is behind it.
So
good.
Like,
come the fuck on. You gotta have skills to make this happen. And it just goes to show, like, listen, Freddy's Dead notwithstanding, you have to believe that DeLuca gave this movie a lot of thought, and Carpenter knew what he had and executed to the best of his ability. And yes, it barely covered its production budget and box office, but this was in the golden age of when you could sell a movie to cable and people would buy and rent DVDs and VHS. This movie made its money back tenfold.
Really?
In the end, when you put together all the ancillaries of when it came out.
Well, okay.
When you sell a package to TNT and then you sell a package to AMC and you can sell a package to the movie channel or whatever, and they play it, and you get paid every single time, and it's on VHS and you're getting the back end of that, and you're then put it out on DVD, and New Line was early DVD adopter, and this sold through the roof. Yes. In the end, this movie made bank. At the time, it made nothing.
Big old flop.
Yeah. But that's when you could take a flyer on this shit, because you knew at the end of the day, I'll still be able to make some money out of this. And then we decided, what if we were in a business where we didn't make money? Why does Patrick Hamilton need a job? That's neither here nor there. That just about does it. But hey, we haven't chosen our own death venture, have we?
We have not.
You basically have three choices. You basically are going to get shot. You're going to get axed to death. Or you're going to get eaten by a monster. That's pretty much it, right? I'm not missing anything.
We also are we going to litigate whether or not how many of those deaths are actually happened?
I think if we start to litigate that, we're going to repeat back. We're going to be that old bicyclist by the time
That's true. Yeah.
This is over, because I don't know where reality ends and begins.
Okay. Does turning into a demon count as dying?
That's a good question.
You're ripping yourself open to let the cold ones out. Does that count as dying?
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, maybe this isn't a choose your own death venture movie at the end of the day. Because
whatever happens to me, I just want those. I want those funky eyes, because I do love that effect.
Sure, I'm not looking forward to the acne that seems to come with it. That seems to be a problematic.
Yeah, I mean, they don't seem to care. I think they're fine with it.
They love a festering wound. Before we go, Mandi, why don't you tell people on the show where they can find you in socials and what you do out there?
You can find me on TikTok, where I talk about horror a lot. And I have been revisiting the Stephen King miniseries, which has been very fun. And my handle is Mandi. That's Mandi with an I. And then Bossard, Bossard.
Excellent. Gina, where can people find you on these here internets?
I write about movies and pop culture on my newsletter, GinaWatchesThings.ghost.io. And I am mostly on Instagram under Gina Does Things.
Do it today, people. Check it out. Find us on your socials, with the exception of Twitter. Fuck that place. And then you can, like the fifth guest who's laughed out loud at this concept.
Speaking of cosmic horrors.
And then, of course, go to screamshare.beehive, that's BEEHIIV.com, where I deliver 3 streaming horror options to you every Thursday, so you can get that decision paralysis demon off your back and watch horror whenever you damn well please. Of course, you can find us Rate and review us on iTunes. You can talk back to us on Spotify, YouTube. You can just join that. You don't have to listen there, but it's a great place to talk back to us. You can email us at killbykillpod@gmail.com. Visit our t-shirt shop. The link's in the bio for lots of nerdy wares. And of course, you can join our Patreon to support the show, where you get lots of bonus episodes, such as extra movies, chat by chat, and commentary episodes too. That just about does it, but don't worry, folks. The body count will continue. For myself, Gina, and Mandy, bye-bye, everybody.
Bye.
They're all gonna laugh at you.
If you like the show, please take a moment to rate, review, and subscribe. It really does help the show to grow. Thank you for listening.